Hello everyone and welcome back to the Common Sense Crypto channel. As with you always, this is Rich doing another video today on XRP. So I hope you're all having a wonderful day today wherever you are in this great world. We're going to talk about XRP. And once again, this is the 1 hour chart. We're still fluctuating between 50 and 55 cents. Like I said in the past, I look at this as the calm before the storm. Now, a lot of people thought we were going to break above 55 cents off of yesterday's news around Grayscale winning against the SEC. And now it makes me wonder, what could be the next catalyst that sends XRP to the moon? I'm going to try to see if I could narrow it down in today's video. But because we had a bit of a run-up yesterday, right away, we have new price predictions for XRP. Analysts share 60x Element projecting 75,371% XRP rally to $400. But they say the first ambitious target stands at $40. So why even talk about a $400 XRP till we get to $40 first? However, I like the high price predictions because new investors coming into crypto, they see this and they're like, wow, XRP has the potential to hit $400 and it's sitting at 53 cents. I need to buy up some of this cryptocurrency. And I do believe XRP will definitely surpass $400 in the future based on its utility and use case. But again, let's get to $40 first. XRP displays 3 signs that show its bears are overpowered. The one I want to point out is right here. The last major trigger for XRP bulls against bears is the sense of opportunity that the potentially convincing win of Ripple in the forthcoming trial with the US SEC might bring to the protocol and its ecosystem. That could possibly wrap up in September through a settlement. Let's see what happens around that. But if Ripple was to have a full-on win against the SEC and this case finally came to a final conclusion, that could be a catalyst that sends XRP. Then there's this, Grayscale, possible next move, resuming XRP. So we know Grayscale had a victory against the SEC. Now the XRP community believes that it's time to re-include XRP into its funds and show support for XRP once again. That could be a catalyst that sends XRP. Then there's this, Coinbase Pro added the XRP USD pair because they know they will win against the SEC. After winning, Coinbase will flip the switch and institutional money can flow into XRP. That would absolutely be a major catalyst. A Coinbase win against the SEC would be massive. It would send the entire crypto space skyrocketing, not just XRP. And Johnny Deaton believes they can pull it off. So pro XRP lawyer John Deaton takes a jibe at the SEC and Gary Gensler for defeat against Grayscale, saying, hey, Gary Gensler, how's that regulation by enforcement policy going for you? He also agreed totally with analyst Scott Melker, the wolf of all streets, that Coinbase will annihilate the SEC in its lawsuit. So let's wait and see what happens around that as well. But that could be another possible catalyst. U.S. Congressman calls to fire SEC Chair Gensler. So more evidence that Gary Gensler's actions at the SEC are arbitrary and capricious. And this comes from Warren Davidson, who's now calling to fire Gary Gensler. I think Gary getting fired could also be a catalyst that sends XRP, because that could bring the end of the anti-crypto army cracking down on crypto. It could be the end of all the shakedowns inside the crypto space. But again, we are at a time right now where anything can send this cryptocurrency skyrocketing. That's why you always have to be holding XRP. Goldman Sachs, why Ripple XRP will outperform tech stocks such as Apple, Microsoft, and Amazon. How much money are you going to make? 2x, 3x, maybe. Can Tesla go up 5x, 6x, 8x? Yeah, sure. However, in the case of crypto like Ripple, XRP, Bitcoin, and Ethereum, the possibility is quite high. This is because one gets to own the network itself with just a token. You know, we own the network. We own the technology that's going to move money in the future from one CBDC to another CBDC. The token that's going to be utilized to send money from one person to another person. And, you know, we're so early to it. We beat the institutional money here. And I never seen any advantage to investing in the stock market. I know people that lost a lot of money in the stock market. It's rigged against the retail investor. At least in crypto, you have a fair shot at becoming rich, getting financial freedom. November again, SWIFT interbank regulatory changes that will become activated via Central Switch Global on the 19th of November. The SWIFT 2023 functionality can be activated via a central switch. So is that the flip of the switch moment that we're waiting for XRP? The new functionality can be switched on, switched off in the application, allowing to view and test the functionality before the activation date in November of 2023. Like I always told you, we haven't got no value from ISO yet. That value is going to come this fall. I think it's going to start with these ISO coins rising up gradually. Not like real fast, but gradually at first, and then later with the Big Bang migration, then we get to see the full potential of these ISO coins. That's what I am picture for that. So BNY Mellon and FedNow speak about requests for payments and the buildup to full-scale adoption of 9,000 banks. Adoption will be tiered or come in waves. Take a listen to this.
Okay, so, we can't enjoy a thing for what it is. So the obvious follow-up question is, we need to know what's next. So, talk a bit about your expectations of what you see sort of to come when it comes to the functionality of FedNow.
Absolutely. So, it started with, credit transfer, receive, a couple banks doing send. We were sending a couple credits. We did, as I mentioned, a couple requests for payments to a new endpoint that's on the FedNow network, which was great to see, to build that capability out. But I think across both networks, right, we're still early in both of the networks being used primarily as a credit transfer system. So, right, all the banks at a minimum or credit transfer receive endpoints. There's a few banks between both networks that are sending credits. So hopefully that continues to grow and we see more traffic and more use cases being sent. But there's even fewer banks that are actually doing requests for payments in production, using it for things like e-bills or e-invoices, or even using a request for payment to underpin use cases like e-commerce and point of sale, right, in the future, right? And then using that technology to provide instant payments to something that can be a nice alternative to other options in the market. So I think, it's going to be a waved and tiered adoption, in my opinion. We still, as I mentioned, have over 9,000 banks to go just to get them on one or both networks to be endpoints of the receive credit transfer, right? To get to a point where we can say as an industry and as a country that all of our accounts are eligible to get a payment 24/7, 365 instantly. That alone is a pretty steep mountain to climb, but we're going to get there gradually through working a lot of the TPSPs and bankers, banks, and technology providers. What I think is going to be really great is once we actually start getting more adoption on the request for payment side, right? When we start seeing a lot of the banks, especially the ones that are the retail banks owning the consumer experience, roll that capability out, because that's when it kind of really touches people in their day-to-day lives, right? You can get an email on their phone, you can make a payment, you can control your cash flow, you can really manage that liquidity, and it actually gives the account holder more access and control over their funds.
Okay, so we can't enjoy.
Remember I told you we're going to see a gradual run up before we see a massive run up? I think it's because that adoption has to happen, like they said, in a tiered way. And did you take notice? They also said merchants. And I just talked about that in yesterday's video, how Ripple's going after merchants as well, not just big banks and corporations, because you need that as part of adoption, where the average person can buy things with crypto in the future or use RippleNet technology to buy things in the future. But everything is pushing that way, and it's moving faster now. And I think it's because the BRICS are speeding everything up. Like I said last year when Russia first announced the CBDC, watch how fast other countries fast track a CBDC now. And sure enough, that's exactly what happened. The same thing's happening now around payments. So Mika, we talked about that in previous videos. It's the path forward in the EU for crypto. But there's a good side, a bad side, and an ugly side to it. So the best part of Mika, tighter rules and larger punishments for crypto asset service providers who lose customer funds. This is a long-standing issue within crypto where the exchanges and wallets have no liability when they are hacked or compromised and lose users' funds, as has led to tens of billions of dollars lost with no options for users. This is unacceptable and has directly contributed to many individuals being irrevocably destroyed in our industry by bad actors. So they cover that. They want to make sure that people aren't getting rug pulled or that the exchanges aren't running off with your money like what happened with FTX. The bad, though, is this. Although it states a primary goal of preventing market manipulation, the majority of manipulation is happening outside of the EU via offshore entities. So it doesn't really help many people directly. It may help indirectly, though, as it signals to the market the direction regulators are moving towards, though it also depends on punishment levied when cases come to a judge. And, they also never look at that. They always look at in-house problems. You need to look beyond that when it comes to crypto. There's always going to be bad actors in this space, is what I'm saying. Unfortunately, now this is the ugly side of it. Unfortunately, there are many concerning, otherwise ugly elements present in Mika that readers must be aware of, and not only if they're EU citizens. The travel rule greatly increased the surveillance and recording of financial transactions and online activity in an unprecedented manner by forcing service providers to identify the recipient as well as the sender for every transaction. That's why they're going to implement digital IDs in the future. A very low threshold of €1,000 for reporting leads to increase surveillance, as compared with traditional threshold of $10,000 in the United States for banks. It's irritating to have regular people be subject to these levels of scrutiny. It requires official approval from lawmakers before launching tokens or liquidity. This will dramatically stifle the number of legitimate projects launched within the EU, both directly and indirectly. It's hard to assume that the queues will be short and the process expeditious. Governments have proven time and time again that they are slow and inefficient, especially where new technologies are concerned. So the EU, they have a path forward, but it's not a clear path forward yet. And I think the US is going to follow along with these rules because I think they're global rules. And even the World Economic Forum has talked about global crypto regulations in the past. I think this is like a testing ground that's going on over in the EU with Mika. It allows them to fast track crypto right now and then fix the problems later. Here in the US, it does look a little bit different already. So the U.S. Treasury Department wants to treat all crypto exchanges and payment processors as brokers for crypto tax reporting purposes. They even want to KYC, DeFi, swap brokers, etc. full crypto regulation coming. And, they're not going to even bring this about until the 2025 tax year. So right now, most of you are probably saying, I hope my XRP skyrockets before 2025 so I could maybe not fall under these new tax rules. But this also will lead to a digital ID in the future. I'm going to do a different video around that. And I think what's going on is they're trying to somehow keep us out of crypto in the future. When regulations come, we need to be included in those regulations. I've always said that. I want to be able to invest in new cryptocurrencies that are going to be created in the future. The end of the line is not just XRP and these other ISO cryptocurrencies. As new technology evolves, new cryptocurrencies will be created. I want to be here investing in those cryptocurrencies. So every XRP holder deserves what is coming. Years of suffering, years of FUD, years of misinformation as the industry is scared of XRP. Know what you hold. Our moment is coming, and it's going to be bigger than you could ever imagine. I think what we're about to see around crypto, it's even hard to put into words, because now the whole world is going to be tied to crypto, through whether it be through CBDCs, other blockchain, ideas such as tokenization, carbon credits. It's all coming together, and you could see it happening all over the world. That's why I said you don't want to sell your XRP too soon. And with regulations around the corner, it worries me that if you do sell, maybe somehow they keep us out of crypto in the future. You got to remember, these politicians are rich people. They don't care about you. They don't even think you're worthy enough to be holding a cryptocurrency like XRP, because the potential that XRP has. But as you sell, you also got to keep in the back of your mind, institutions are going to be buying up your cryptocurrency, buying up your XRP. That's another thing to take into consideration, because even though there's 100 billion XRP, does anybody really know if that's enough? Will there be a shortage of XRP in the future, is what I'm saying. Nobody knows for sure. It sounds like a massive number, but when the whole world's using it, that number's not so big anymore. But like I always tell you, stay patient, stay positive. Let's get rich together. With that said, I'm going to wrap up this video. I want to thank you all for watching. I appreciate all of you. I'll see you in the next one. Have a great night.